I think we're live. All right, let's see if we have everything okay. Oh, people are saying we are live. Okay, but what a, that's like a 20 to 25 second delay right there. That's for all the famous Kramer country players. How's it going? How you doing? Everything sound okay? Everything's okay. People are saying it sounds good. You can hear my voice okay? Someone said new Epiphone. That one there. No, that's another one of these. Which with any luck, I will get that video out like this week, because I want to do a review / giveaway. Those are the same thing. God, it's always the opposite of where I want to turn my hand. There. There. Those are the same thing. You need a silver sky. You know, I agree. Come at me, PRS. Hey, Tony. Looks like we have Peter Brown here. Wild Cuts. Jay. Frank C. Frank says it sounds good. Electra Omega. New Epiphone boxes? No, I've actually had that box for a little bit now. An embarrassingly long time. I think I got that. I might have even got that in the summer. I was going to say the fall, but it may not have been the fall. Maybe it was the fall. Listen, I'm going to bump it up to the fall because I feel so bad I haven't had the video out for it yet. I mean, you've all seen the guitar, and I used it for my Christmas song, and I did it in my Guitars of 2019, but like, I really just got to make a straight dedicated video, you know, about that guitar and do the giveaway, you know. It's it's just one of those things that's been, you know, it's been on my mind. Guitar guy says love those Epiphones, want one. Let's we don't have flame cam, we have paint cam this week. That's paint cam. Here's the old back. Love this guitar. This is like one of my favorite guitars, if I'm being honest. I have a lot of favorites. This is one of them. Right there. So you're not really seeing the body. I think you can see the body a little bit better in this shot because it's not quite as blown out with all the lighting. Right? That looks a little, especially on the top there, it's way blown out. I could probably adjust that a hair. Let's see. Hold on to your butts. Go here. And what do I want to do? I think I just want to bring this gain down just a hair. Yeah, that takes a little bit of it off. I probably need a whole gain stage change, but I don't want to do that. Like if I went here, nah, that's too much. All right? That's too much. All right, we'll leave it there. But you know what I'm saying. Nice, and those are EMGs. All right, those aren't Epiphone. Although I don't think they do the EMG anymore. I think they've gone 100%. So when this particular model was out, you could get it with EMGs like I have here, or you could get it with Seymour Duncans. I believe now they're just all Seymour Duncan. I did not see any at the last 2 NAMM shows showing anything but Duncans. Look at you with the 2 camera angles. Well, you know, it came to me when I realized I had 2 cameras. What's up, Papa Blue? Ron Padgett says it's 41 here. I got spring fever. Yeah, we woke up this morning. It was like 7 or 8 degrees out Fahrenheit. That's like minus what? Probably like minus 10 Celsius, maybe more. Probably more. Anyway, it was cold, but it got up to about 28, 29 degrees, which is still below zero. It's like -1, -2 Celsius. But tomorrow they say we're going to get up into the 40s. We didn't have much of a winter. We had like 2 cold days recently, but other than that, it's been way, way above normal. RJ saying, put a wang bar on it. I could. The case is all the way over there. Do I have a bar right here? Sometimes I do. Not this time, though. Yeah, okay. Done. No, kill that. And we're back. Insert truss rod like so, and then screw down external grommet until desired firmness. Kind of coffee tonight? Starbucks. I am sad to report, I believe the Kirkland has ended their production. The Costa Rican, the Sumatran, the Rwandan, gone. I think I can buy them online, but they don't stock them in the store, and I think all they're doing is just unloading all their stock online. It's a sad day. Say I never play clean. Well, there it is. I don't know how long it'll last. I gotta say, I don't even know this patch. What am I playing through here? Modern Clean. Oh, right, but this is the one. I have 2. That's, let me just make sure yeah. Sounds to me like I have that cranked up because I don't know. little stronger with the humbucker. Let me go back here. I can't see you when I have the yeah, let's I kind of like that. Yeah, so I was clearly doing something with delay on that one, and then how much louder that is though. Like the world's worst whammy bar action. He's having an episode. Oh, anyway, where was I? That's right, you guys are here. Yeah, that's THU. This patch is called Modern Clean. Modern Clean, but I'm sure I modified it. There it is with the compressor off. And the compressor on. I was just squeezing that toothpaste out. Getting rid of the attack, right? Turn it off. But you lose all your dynamics when it's on. I mean, they're there, but they're not. It's not quite the same. Anyway, I keep blocking my view. What's up, Zach? What year is that Kramer? I'm going to say that this is like a 2014, I think. It starts with a 14. I'm going 2014. I don't think they really did much production in 2015 or lower production. By 2016, 2017, it felt like Kramer was almost going to like bag out. I didn't really see a lot of stuff on their social media. But they're back. As a matter of fact, if we should just mention that right now. The CEO of Gibson was asked about that recently, saying like, okay, like NAMM 2019 was sort of like the triumphant return of Gibson. A lot of people felt that NAMM 2020 was like the triumphant return of Epiphone, the new headstock, a whole new lineup, very, very well received, right? The new Epiphone stuff. And so, like, now that you've, like, really, you know, given those two brands big jump start, big kick start, right? What about Kramer? What about Steinberger? And he did mention Kramer was, you know, in the crosshairs for, you know, a big, you know, relaunch. So who knows what's going to happen? You know, I felt like they've been doing a lot in the last 2 years. They came out with new colors for this model. They came out with, I think, the Jersey Star. They came out, right? They've had a few things that they've come out with. I love the new orange. They have like an orange crush, and they have like a metallic blue that are both pretty amazing. But this past NAMM, they had the old retro graphics, which was sick. There was this one 3D graphic I put on my Facebook page. Damn. They should make that a stock standard color, because I just thought it was just perfect. I loved it. What's up, Mark? Oh, God, that's good. Oh, yeah. So, Peter Brown, thank you for the transition. I don't like to go too long without getting into the titled topic of conversation, because people will watch this video later and be like, what the hell is going on here? They don't realize that they've stumbled into a live show, but they're not watching it live. You know, they're watching it after the fact. So I'm just going to throw it out to you. You take a look, you see what you think, and we'll discuss at the other end of it, okay? But I am so on the fence. I just think it's a good topic for discussion. So let's do this. I just have to set one thing up here, and we should be good to go. Hold on to your butts. Is that it? There it is. Okay. You know what? I'm going to go back. I want to set this to, and I can't do it. Let me just go back and Alt-Tab, right? And now it should be full screen, right? Okay. Fantastic. Here we go. So here's the title. Let me just make sure you're seeing this. Yeah, no, you're seeing it. Okay. Here's the title. Beware of selling on Reverb. I just got royally screwed. So I'm just going to read the first post here. I ran into this the other day, and there's a lot of responses on this back and forth. See what you think. I'm going to read this. So I sold a mint Gretsch 61 2019 limited edition, player's edition, jet light blue pearl. Who named this? Ibanez? 2019 to a guy on Reverb for around $16.99. I was wondering, was it around $16.99 or was it $16.99? Plus $79 shipping, and the guitar's neck snapped during shipping. I paid the extra $35 for the Reverb insurance protection. Just a quick note on that. That was mandatory, okay? Once you're over $1,500, insurance is no longer optional. Right. The guitar was shipped through UPS. Here, before we get to the letter, let's look at the damage. All right, here's the box. Here's the box that shipped in. It's shipped in a hard shell case. Right, you can see the hard shell case right over here on the guy's couch. There's the neck snap. Looks pretty snappy. There it is from the back. That white portion there is the back of the truss rod plate. There's the truss rod nut. Here's the back snapped off. Now, clearly it's snapped outside the range of the truss rod, right? And a lot of people would look at that and say, it's repairable. And there it is from the side. Again, you can see really what's holding it together is the truss rod cover plate. That's what's holding this headstock together. And you can see down here, this bottom part here snapped off. And there it is. That's all the pics you need to see. One side, sort of the back side, and then the other side. That's the damage you're looking at, all right? $16.99 was what he sold it for. $16.99. Reverb writes him back. Hi, Rick. I am following up with you regarding this order. In this situation, Reverb has offered the buyer the option of keeping the Gretsch for repair and having Reverb cover those costs. However, they do not want to pursue the repairs on their end. So they basically offered to the buyer, hey, if you want to keep it, we'll pay to have it fixed. And the buyer's going, you can't be serious. I'm not buying this colossal problem. No. So they had the option of rejecting it, and they did. When an item arrives damaged, we do need to offer the buyer a return for a full refund as a secondary option. With that being said, we can offer the following resolution. 1, Reverb provides a prepaid return shipping label to the address that you have on file, so they'll pay to have it returned from the buyer. Once received, you issue a full refund back to the buyer, right? So there goes your $16.99 and your $79 for shipping, right? You may then take the guitar to a trusted repair shop in your area to obtain a written repair quote within 7 days of receiving this item back in your possession. Before getting any work done, send a photo or screenshot of the repair estimate so I can review and we can cover these costs if feasible, right? If feasible, right? That's huge. Once the repair quote is approved, so in other words, you can't just send in any repair. They have to see if the repair is worth it. You may get the work done and Reverb will cut you a check for the quoted repair costs. Or, plan B, if you would prefer not to go through the hassle of gathering a repair estimate, we can honor a claim payout of $400. Typically, these repairs cost about $350. This should cover the cost of the repair. Thank you. Please let me know your thoughts within the next 24 hours, and I will be happy to advise the next steps. All the best, Phil. Again, let's take a look. There's the damage. All right, there's the damage. So I think if you go and you read the, can I do it here? No, I can't. I'll just go back to this one. If you read their terms of service, the comments are quite startlingly sort of either way. What I would say more of them favoring Reverb in this situation, which I thought was odd. I thought they might favor the, I thought they might favor the, the seller a little bit more, but people were like, well, listen, that's the terms of their service. Those are the terms you agreed to. And there you go. So then I'm thinking to myself, well, listen, if I got into a car accident and insurance would cover my car accident, nobody is accepting a car that looks like it has been in an accident, right? And at some point, they will total the car, right? That's a very standard process. My point is, if it isn't totaled, right, if the guitar isn't totaled, it's not beyond repair in any way, this guy's getting screwed. Because when he's done with that repair, it will never, ever look the way it did before a snapped headstock. And all of us in the guitar industry sort of know that whenever you look at a guitar that has a snapped headstock repair, right, it's already a broken-legged, table or something, right? It's already got a problem right out of the gate. It's like, I know it's been fixed, but it's irking me. And those guitars typically sell 30, 40, 50% below what they would normally sell for, but for the broken headstock. I mean, am I wrong on that? So I just feel like, they'll pay this guy and they'll get it fixed, right? But no, someone's saying, does UPS cover the damage? No, I guess it was through Reverb, and Reverb does the repair. Again, it wasn't through UPS where he took insurance. Reverb acts as almost like the clearinghouse for this insurance. All right, this is probably a moneymaker for them, just to a large degree. And like all insurance, you'll make a lot more money the more you refuse or mitigate claims. So I think what they're saying is that it was like more like damage mitigation. In other words, it got damaged, but we'll make it so that the guitar works again. But it's never going to be the same. There's always going to be a seam there, even if they get rid of the seam. Let's even assume you get like the best guy. Then are you going to feel good about saying, well, I guess it's like selling a car, right, that was in an accident. You don't want to disclose the fact that it's been an accident. You're selling a house that the basement flooded. You don't want to disclose the fact that it had a basement flooded. If you sell a guitar with a broken headstock and you don't want to disclose that it had a broken headstock, I mean, is that kind of puts the seller in an odd position? And I just feel like this dude is not going to be made whole from this insurance process. What's striking to me was how many comments were like, yeah, that's the cost of doing business. You wanted to be a seller on Reverb. My eye is itching here. You wanted to be a seller on Reverb. You wanted to, be in quote-unquote business of selling a guitar, I guess, right? So a lot of times these are just simple person-to-person sales, right? That you, accept the terms of their service and, that's, those are the terms you accepted. And, it sucks that happened to you and, lesson learned about being better at packing. A lot of people were blaming his packing. And I get it, but it's like, I could see that being, a point of debate, certainly. But damn, I just felt like the dude kind of was getting screwed. I felt like at the end of all this, he's going to have a guitar with a repaired headstock that he's, I mean, what are you going to pay for a Gretsch that sells for $1,700 with a repaired headstock? $800? $1,000? $1,200? Like, how much is this guy going to get out of this guitar? I don't know. I mean, I know that one time I had I bought a rare poster, right, off of eBay. When I tell you that it was in a tube, the tube showed up bent in half and the one whole side split open like a goddamn Pillsbury, you know, like a Pillsbury dough tube you would get at the supermarket, right? I mean, that's what it looked like. Well, I went down to not UPS, the United States Postal Service, and I was like, the poster's ruined. And they were like, cool, you have $100 worth of insurance. And I paid about $100 for the poster, maybe like $80 and shipping and everything. It was about $100. But if I wanted to do that deal, they got to keep the poster, right? So I had to decide whether or not the poster was so rare that I was willing to take my money back for it, or if I thought I could maybe repair it. Maybe it's just crinkled and I could mount it to foam core, and I could decide what I wanted to do with it and not get the money. But if I wanted to get $100 out of UPS, not UPS, I keep saying UPS, out of the United States Postal Service, they get to keep the poster, and I get the $100, and then they can go sell the poster and mitigate their damages. It feels like Reverb should be in the same position, right? They should have to mitigate this guy's damages because he bought the insurance, and again, the insurance was mandatory. And now they're like, yeah, sucks to be you. We'll pay to get it repaired. I mean, do you want to... Yeah, I see some people are saying $500. Some people are saying they wouldn't buy it. Again, it's not like a car where, you know, if the car comes back and it's like, yeah, well, we didn't replace the fender. We just sort of pulled it out. It's a little wavy, but, you know, it's a lot better than it was. It's like, yeah, it looks like a car that was... that had been struck and like semi-fixed. And I think that headstock is going to look the same way, no matter how sturdy it is. Again, let's go, hold on. Now I have to go back and look at it again. Hold on one sec. I'm going to bring this up. Yeah, let's go here. I mean, again, that's the headstock. You know? Hold on, let me just go, yeah, full screen on that. I mean, look at that. That's a serious break. That is literally, you know, I mean, I think he breaks the binding right there. You can see the binding is snapped. Like, there's a piece of the binding, and there's another piece of the binding. There's a piece of the binding. That looks like another piece of binding right there. If you look on there, clearly the binding is snapped. There's a piece of it here and a piece of it there. I mean, this is all going to be I mean, look at that thing. I don't know. I just feel like the guitar is, you know, ruined, for lack of a better word. Again, you can't unring the bell, right? It's like that. Yeah, that'll never be back to where it was before that break. But again, a lot of people, and again, it was a surprising number of people that, let me just go back to my solo cam here. It was a surprising number of people that were just like, no, dude, sorry, brah, them's the breaks. Anyway, he should get back what he insured it for. Exactly, so who knows what it was insured for? They're saying it's not insured for repair or replacement, just repair. And I'm like, really? Really? With a snapped neck like that? I don't know. I just felt like, I thought the guy had a point. I think at the end of the day, he's going to be out a few bucks. Now, I would probably run it down to my local guy and have him write up a repair tag for $16.99, and then have them argue it in court and be like, well, let's go have a judge decide whether it's a total loss. I'm declaring it a total loss. If you want to take it and do it, and then whatever. And I'd probably make them sweat a little bit. I'd probably send them like a Massachusetts 93A business-to-business letter. That'd cost them at least $1,000 just to have a lawyer write me a letter back. So there are ways to apply pressure, but, you know, you don't have to put your lawyer hat on every single time, you have a problem like this. But I guess, I think I don't know. I kind of think he is getting screwed. And discuss. Star Guitars is saying it's a total loss. Payout should be given. Show the case. Peter says show the case. We did show the case briefly. Let me go back to that. That's a good point. Let's look at the case. I don't know that we can glean a lot from these particular photos, but let's look at the case. There it was, right there. It's a wooden hard shell case, and it was in this box. And I can see some packing behind the box, some packing materials, Again, I don't know. Sometimes bad things happen to good people, It's just not his fault. I mean, but that is some serious damage. Anyway, let me go back to my. I gotta switch this out. Here we go. Prepare. And back to here. And there we go. Okay, now I can see you. Quentin, go to the Reverb parking lot and start stabbing tires. See, that's the justice I used to do. Brian says royal screw job. 6-string Brian says payout should be given. So they're basically saying, yeah, they'll pay him out, but they want to give him $400, right, for repairs as a flat rate, or whatever his actual repair cost, if feasible. Right, that's a huge part of that sentence, because I swear to God, if he came back with $1,200, they would say no, we're not going to pay it. We think it's going to be this, and I don't know. Then it would just be a fight. So I just think I just felt like the guy was kind of getting screwed. Again, if you read the comments, I'm going to say if it's like 60-40 in favor of Reverb. Maybe 70-30. Most of the people in there, if they're not just saying like, oh, wow, right? If they're actually, right, calling balls and strikes on it, I'd say it leans more in favor of them saying, oh, well, dude, look, when you sell something, and a lot of people are like, oh, it's nothing. It's just a scratch. You get it fixed. But I don't know. I'm in the group that would look at that snapped headstock and say, no. No. I don't think so. So Shagley says, surely a brick like that is not possible within a hard shell case. That's what I said. But some of the people on the forum were basically accusing him of packing too much packing material inside and around the headstock, not giving it enough room to move, if that makes any sense. I don't know. I just think, what if it's dropped on its face, right? And so it has a sudden stop, but the headstock keeps going, and maybe there's nothing above it. Or if there's something down, and it gets slammed down, and it's supposed to move, but there's something under it pushing up, then it snaps it off. I mean, there are so many possibilities here. Hold on, I feel like got that on my foot. I feel like I'm pulling that. Hold on. For Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying? So I thought the biggest argument I was hearing out there was, you're a businessman, they're a businessman, it's just business. It's nothing personal, it's just business. But I was like, yeah, well, if I knew that every single time I threw a guitar up on Reverb, there was a chance, through no fault of my own, and again, we can debate whether it was some of his fault. But again, if it was me, I'd be saying it was no fault of my own. The guitar is damaged, not beyond repair, but you'll never get it back to where it was, right? If it shows up with a broken string, right? We can fix that, and you'll never know it showed up with a broken string. You know, so I don't know. So someone said the case is fine. Did it really? Oh, thanks, Metalhead Hippie. Oh, thanks, buddy. Much appreciated. You know, some were saying like, someone just said it like it felt like if there's nothing wrong with the case, you know, how is this his fault at all? I mean, he's shipping it in the manufacturer's case. You would think it would be designed for it. I don't know. You know, again, it just goes back and forth between the two. I think I was just a little surprised at how many people took Reverb's side. Because I did feel at the end of the day that there was a lot out of his control. He could not take more insurance, right? It wasn't like, do you want to take basic insurance, which will only cover repairs, or do you want to pay more money and get full coverage that would include replacement costs? There was nothing like that. All he was offered was this one tier. It was mandatory because the item was over $1,500. And it was between him and Reverb and not him and UPS. It's it's like basically a perfect storm of all this, you know, craziness. And it results with them saying, yeah, we're not going to replace, we're only going to repair. And we deem the repair to be $350, but we're going to send you $400. And I'm like, yeah, it's interesting. That's interesting. Ricky says, I think if you pay for the insurance from them, they should eat it, no questions asked. Yeah. Yeah, I kind of agree. You know, it's like if that isn't a total loss, or at least the burden should shift to Reverb, just like it did with the poster from me. If I wanted the $100, right? If he wants the $16.99 out of them, then Reverb gets to keep the guitar and mitigate their loss. I have no problem with that. He loses the guitar, but it makes both the seller whole and the buyer whole. Buyer gets a refund, seller gets the insurance proceeds. Insurance company mitigates their loss because they're getting all these premiums, but only 2% loss, 5% loss? I'd love to know those stats. What percentage of boxes are damaged every day by UPS? I'll bet it's way less than 10%. Like, you think of the billions of boxes they move probably a year. I gotta think their damage rate is in the single digits. I don't know. I'd love to know stats on that. So Electro Omega says, I think UPS needs to pay up. See, that's the problem. UPS shipped it, but he bought the insurance through Reverb. So he's stuck in this insurance subrogation. His contract isn't directly with UPS. It's with Reverb, who in turn, I'm sure, purchased the sale of the shipping at a lower rate, right? They mark that up. They mark up the shipping a little bit. They get a little bit... They like to skim a little bit off the top of the shipping. So he couldn't even go directly to UPS. He's going through Reverb. And because it was over a certain amount, he was forced to buy the insurance from Reverb. I don't think it's through UPS. They're just so whenever I've shipped something, it was always optional for me, because I think the most expensive thing I've sold on there was I think $650 or something, or $700, right? Wasn't very expensive. So it was always optional, and I always took it. But it's interesting to know that it wouldn't have really covered me very much. Looks like it would be a big fight if I had a problem, and they would want to repair and not replace. So, I don't know. Hey, JT, no, you rock, buddy. Reverb, UPS, tires are tires, start slashing. That brings me back to the 80s. Oh, you're not going to give me a full refund, huh? Huh. Okay. Hey, what's up, Aljon? You like this one, Aljon? Wait, hold on. We got to go to Kramer Cam. Crane Cam. Look at that. So juicy. So succulent. Simple lines weaving. Look at that. Nice heel. And it even has the wrenches right on the back of the headstock. Yeah. It's my Ronnie impression. Yeah. And, of course, you got one of these clicky-doos. See that? Clicky-doo. And another clicky right there. So this little clicky turns this from double coil to single coil. Double coil, single coil. This here, right? Right there's double coil, single coil. Okay. This one here adds this to it, so that's why you would hear that, because now these two are on. I like it single coil mode. All right. Back to this cam. I guess we could go to a more distorted sound. We've been doing the clean for about 45 minutes. I love this guitar. I think I mentioned that earlier. Really do. I really do. Really, I do. And like I was saying earlier, the Gibson CEO was talking about maybe, like I said, Gibson was sort of the 2019 big reboot at Winter NAMM. 2020 was the big Epiphone, new headstock reboot. Maybe Kramer will be next year, maybe this summer, who knows? But I'd keep your eye out for Kramer. Sounded like they're the next, target for attention. And I tell you, if those graphics are any indicator, Aljon, you need to make that 3D graphic, that needs to be a stock color. Just commission that dude. Make it into a decal and put it on, that was sick. That was I'm sure that was just airbrush, but damn, that was nice. What do you think of using pedals into software like Bias Effects? It's tricky. On the one hand, to compare pedal against pedal, you won't find a system that's more like just straight ahead, right? Once you lock in a patch. I found that everything sounded a little bright. I had to go and put a patch together that was a little bit darker, and then all the pedals sounded great. And it could be the fact that I'm wearing headphones or going through speakers with tweeters and not a regular amp. So I think you got to darken it up a little bit. Just roll that treble off a hair or the presence down a little bit. And I think that makes a huge difference. Oh, Aljon saying, stay tuned. The funny thing is not too many people even get that reference anymore, right? Wasn't that Dragnet? Steve, did you see Positive Grid Bias on sale? All packages. What do you think? I like Bias. Was it Bias, Positive Grid Bias, or Bias Effects? You know what? Of the two, I would get Bias Effects over Bias. I just like it with the effects more. When the effects are a part of it, and I can make a full-on stereo rig like this is, hear that? The reverb, the delay is only in one ear, and the reverb is stereo. It gives a certain spatial sound to the quality. I don't really hear that on Bias. I do hear that on Bias Effects. So I just think that Bias, you're always going to have to run it into some sort of an effect. There's no reverb. Oh, I guess there is reverb in it now, but the Bias Effects to me was so much more pleasurable to use than Bias that I can't recommend Bias, just the regular one. I really do have to say just get Bias Effects. You get all the amps you get in Bias, plus all these effects that just make it sound cool, Blank Palette 2 says, are you going to get Synergy amp and modules? Well, I just started working with Friedman. I have a wah. Let me get the wah video out first, and then I can talk to them about other stuff. Friedman, Morgan, Synergy, Tone King, I think. Egnator, Soldano, and Diesel are all made in a California boutique amp factory. And they just take turns, and whose amp is being, they're done in runs, as whose amp is being done first. So because of that, if you're in with like Friedman or Morgan, you can kind of get anything under that umbrella. So I'm trying to get something from, I would love to get something from Synergy here. But, you know. What model is this guitar? This is the Kramer SM1. SM stands for Stage Master, which is a guitar that came out in the late 80s. I want to say 88. Could have been 87, but I don't think so. I think it came out in the 88 catalog. You got your ebony fingerboard, your neck-through construction. I think the whole guitar is mahogany. I could be wrong. Could be a maple neck with a mahogany body, but I think the whole thing is mahogany head to toe. I'd have to double check the specs. But it's oh, hold on. Let's go to the close cam. Oh wait, that's the close cam with my head in it. There we go. That the other one was a situation cam. But do you see how? Do you see? You see how that body just attaches? And I tell you another thing I've been going through. 24 frets. I've been digging the 24 frets. You know, every time I go back to a 24 fret guitar, I'm like, oh, right, I really like the symmetry of it, you know? It's like you got one octave here and then the second octave there, and they're two complete chunks. You only get 2 extra notes over 22 frets, just, those are the only 2 extra notes, right? Every other note is found on every other guitar, right? If you have a 21 fret guitar, then you have 3 extra notes, but you know what I'm saying. Look at that inlay, though. Headstock inlay, beak inlay. I call it beak inlay. Some call it the headstock inlay. Yeah, cram cam. Peter Brown says, can't wait to buy the 60s Gibson-inspired Epiphones. You know what? I would love to do, I got to talk to Al Young. I would love to do a video on this. The fact that they went to ebony on the Les Paul cut, I've been asking for that for, I swear to God, 20 years. They would never put ebony on the SG Custom. They would never put it on the LP Custom. You always got rosewood. They now do it, and I love that. I love that. Because there's something about those big blocks and the ebony that just, it's a thing, right? It's a thing. So when you see it with the rosewood, it looks right, but not quite right. The trapezoid looks right. I know. It's all in my head. It's all in me head. But seriously, the fact that they went to ebony on those block inlays is mega huge for me. Mega huge. They have a new SG like custom. I think it's a modern. I forget if it's the modern that has the block. That might have a trapezoid inlay with a beautiful fade over like flame top. It's gorgeous. I tell you, all the ones I saw at NAMM were just friggin' amazing. And then there was another one, just a straight up Les Paul custom, ebony and white, right? Let's face it, those are the 2 best custom colors, right? Ebony and white. The gold hardware and the ebony fingerboard, that's so friggin' huge. I friggin' love it. Massive. I love the white guitar, very clean look, I agree. Ebony and ivory, there you go. Ebony, ivory. Hi, Steve. What's your take on Sir guitars? Amazing guitars. A little pricey. But I tell you this much. The people I know who own them swear by them. I don't think I've ever... I've probably played one. But I can't remember like playing one for any appreciable length of time. But a buddy of mine has one, and he friggin' loves it. He swears by it. And he was a gigging, musician who was working, 300 nights a year. Oh, Brian, thanks, buddy. PRS. I actually have been looking. I'm telling you, I can feel it. It's coming. I'm going to find something. Right now is the worst time to buy. I'm going to just give you a little heads up on this. Right now is one of the worst times to buy an electric guitar used. Stock is generally down at this time, and it's because tax refunds start to come in. So at tax time, people are more flush with cash. You're fighting other buyers. It's a little tricky. The better thing would be to squirrel it away, and after tax season sort of dies down and you get into the summer doldrums, or right after Christmas is a great time, right? You can really get some good bargains. I might have another week or two left but right now you're going to see a heavy churn. It's going to go from like 53,000 guitars on Guitar Center. I swear to God, the stock will get down to below 50,000. It'll get down to 49, 48,000 total guitars. Their stock will literally drop by like 10%, over this period. And then it will slowly creep back up again. I'm mixing A and E. like my old cassette player. Hold on, Michael. Give it another 4 weeks. People can only just start filing now, right? It's literally only been 2 weeks since you could start filing. There's going to be, and it takes 2 to 3 weeks to actually get your refund a lot of times. So it'll be a while. I think March it'll pick up. My biggest month, other than November and December on, say, Amazon affiliate, is March. I swear to God, it's tax season. So it'll take a little bit. And the other thing I noticed is that if you make an offer on Reverb, you just get lowballed. I stopped putting that up. It's like, this is the price. It's a pretty good price. I think it's a good price. You know what? They sell. They really do. It sells. But when you make an offer, people I don't know, the foul stench of desperation fills the air. And I would get like all these, I have a guitar up there for $699 and they're like, how about, $500? I'm like, are you insane? Like, that guitar new was, $1,500. It's like I've already dropped it to $700. It's like, please. See you, RC32. Steve, will we see an SFB Harley Benton SIG? That would be an SFB HPS? Maybe. Rabbit season, duck season, tax season, yeah. All right, Sammy and EVH going to do one show. I haven't heard that. Oh, I wanted to mention that. Thank you for bringing that up. What happened to David Lee Roth? The guy can all of a sudden sing. I don't get it. He's been opening up for Kiss, and all the video footage I've seen, he sounded really good. And this isn't some board doing it. This is a guy out in the audience recording it. And I think what it was is his new band probably told him, listen, you got to stop screaming and screeching. Just sing it in your range. He sang all the songs in his range. He sounded really good. I mean, is he what he was 30, 40 years ago? No, but you know what? He sounded pretty damn good. And I'm just going to say my suggestion of the week would be to go check out some of the Van Halen from about the last, I want to say about 10 days. Right? I don't think it's much older than that. I think he's only been touring out maybe about 10 days, maybe 14. But goddamn, if he didn't sound good, I was like, holy shit, when did David Lee Roth learn to sing again? He's not lip singing. He's not. And I don't think he ever smoked. What I noticed was he stopped really trying. You know how he would come out and he would sing the lyrics and his timing was always way off and he just didn't care. And he just, he would never sing it like the record. And he would just, I don't know, there was just something about him. Maybe he got better in-ears. But he came out these last couple of times. He's clearly singing, it's not perfect. Don't get me wrong. I mean, it's still, a 60-something-year-old David Lee Roth singing. It's not like like I said, it's not like he sounds like he was 40 years ago, but he doesn't sound like he did these last two tours with Van Halen, where he's got this whiny screech going on. It's like, why do you keep singing it like that? Like you're this amazing singer. It's like just, and I swear to God, go check out the footage. Look up David Lee Roth. He's opening for Kiss. He's wearing this sort of like purple leather outfit he seems to be wearing every night, this sort of like Harlequin, like a Harlequin doll sort of look. I'm telling you, man, he sounds good. What do you think about the new VH standards this year? Do you like the Spalton Maple? I like Spalton Maple, and I do like my EVH standard. I especially like the fact that they put those little plates to keep the trem from floating. Even though it's a Floyd Rose, it can't pull up. That's actually really smart of them to do that. All they do is glue a couple of metal plates on the bottom of the trem so it won't pull back. It won't pull back. It's really smart because if you're a beginner, a Floyd Rose that floats is going to be a friggin' frustration, a real nightmare. But if you can get rid of that one thing, that one direction, you're good to go. Oh yeah, Roth is still a clown, but I mean, he was always that. I mean, he was like that since day one. DLR is singing back in normal range. He did it back in 07, 08, then oddly stopped. Yeah, he would come out and he would be like, look at me sing. I'm like this real strong singer, but he wasn't. And it would come off very screechy. And it would be like, man, it's like almost like he had no like third-party awareness, no third-party perspective, no feedback reflection on how he was sounding until he had to be reading the YouTube comments. They were brutal. But now I think he's, I swear to God, the last couple of times I was like, it went from unlistenable to listenable, right? It's not amazing, but it's listenable, He's doing, Kiss is spending their last 10 years of their life retiring. This is supposed to be their retirement tour, but it seems to be going on for like a couple of years now. Kramer Focus guitars VT211s, are they any good? I don't think I've ever played that. That Kramer Focus. I can tell you the Kramer Pacer Classics are pretty inexpensive. Not quite as inexpensive as the Focus, but they're pretty inexpensive, and those are damn good guitars. Most notably, the pickups. The pickups don't suck. For a low-cost guitar, the pickups are pretty damn good, and that makes all the difference. In fact, I think I like those pickups better than I like the pickups in the EVH. They claim the EVH are those Wolfgang pickups, but I swear they're like a Chinese Wolfgang. It's not the same Wolfgang pickup. I could be wrong. Prove me wrong. But I swear they don't sound quite the same. It's almost like it's the same spec, kind of like a designed by Duncan. The Kramer pickups in the Pacer Classic, I think, sound really good. I was going to say the farewell tour will go about 10 years. Yeah, that sounds about right. Vince was so drunk in that birthday message. Yeah, who was really drunk a couple years ago? Was it Stephen Percy from Rat? He's pretty much sitting on the end of the drum riser, like, gibberish into the microphone. Kiss has retired 11 times. A couple of them not on their own volition either. The market sort of retired them for them. But they keep coming back. Let's see how long the crew tour will last. Yeah, who knows? Gene Simmons has said that he categorically will not go on stage and Kiss as Kiss when he's in his 70s. All right. Well, he's getting close to it. He's got to be, because I'm 53. So is there a Seinfeld guitar? I don't know. I don't think I've ever heard of one. Hey, Steve, let's see. So the PRS came. All right, I don't have one yet. I know. Well, here's the thing. I could have got one. I was looking at a PRS. It was a CE. That would already piss a bunch of people off, just getting a CE over a set neck. But putting that aside, it was a CE. But it didn't have, any wood showing. It was a solid red. It was a beautiful red. It was a beautiful paint job. But it was red. And I was like, oh, God, people. But it was cheap. I think it was, I want to say $8.99. So fairly inexpensive. I got to get, my goal, and I know you're going to call me crazy, my goal is to get a 10 top or a 10 top with a rosewood neck for under $1,500. That's what I want. I want a 10 top for under $1,500. It's a tall order, but I think it can be done. I've seen it. I know it's possible, but it's rare. It's rare. And even then, sometimes it's a 10 top, but it's like some blue or some color you just don't care for, or I've seen a black top in black, a 10 top in black that was so dark you'd have to take their word for it. It was a 10 top. So we'll see. That's my goal. Can I get a 10 top for under $1,500? Or I should just talk to friggin' Jean at PRS and see if she'll send me a friggin' Silver Sky. Like on a Silver Sky, heads would explode. They'd be like, that's just a Strat, man. $1,500, right? You better buy it on Reverb with a broken neck, right? No, they're out there. I've seen it. They had, and I didn't have the money at the time. They had, it was an amber burst, so it was sort of like a brown, right? It was beautiful. It was a 10 top. It was a custom 22. If it was a 24, I would have tried to find the money to get it. It was a custom 22. And it was friggin' gorgeous. And it was up at $22.99, and then it was down to $17.99, and then it was down to $14.99. And that thing sold at $12.99. $12.99. It's out there. It can happen, but it's it's rare. You got to really hold out. I saw a 10 top with a rosewood neck go for $14.99. There was a custom 22 10 top that had it came with the paisley case and all the case candy, $14.99. That was a regrettable one that I didn't. I should have just got that, But I've seen it, right? It's just that it only happens a handful of times a year, and you got to be like right on it because everyone else is seeing what you're seeing, and someone else will just jump on. Again, it's tough this time of year because people have money at the ready with their tax returns. What's in the box? It's another one of these, which I'll have on a giveaway. I swear, like this week, it's been just it's just nonstop crap since I got back from NAMM. First, I got all the NAMM videos out, and then I'm doing a massive studio project down here where I'm completely cleaning up this other area. Had to pull everything out of there. I put 3 coats of water sealing paint on the walls and on the floor, and I was just about to paint the floor, but one of the walls is this old plasterboard. It's a little stained on the bottom. I started removing that from the studs, and I think I'm just going to put up oriented strand board and a couple of sheets of this stuff here over. It looks good, and then it would be strong enough. I can hang guitar set right now with the plasterboard. I couldn't even screw a hanger in and feel good about it, right? It's like it's too weak. I'd rather put the oriented strand board up and really mechanically tie it into the joists in the base. I'll be good to go. I want the EVH PRS model. I think there's only 2 or 3. I never saw that. Custom 22, much better deals. Yeah, over a custom 24, absolutely. Last time I saw Kiss was in 76. That was probably a good show, though. Some say they peaked in 78. Some would even say they peaked in 76. The band's coming along great. In fact, the drummer I'm going to be working with, he's actually away. I think he's gigging or he's on vacation, but he's away this week, and he's going to be stunned because he was here last week, and I showed him the week before, and I showed him the space, and I'm sure he was looking around going, "You're never going to have this cleaned out," because it was so. But I did. I cleaned the whole freaking thing out, and it's pretty enormous, and I got some nice LED lights, and I was going to buy a rug off of Amazon for it, but you know what? I was at Home Depot the other day, and for friggin' the same money, I can get a much, much better rug at home. I'm not Home Depot, Costco. Oh, thanks, Larry John. Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated. Yeah, I agree, Ron. Old plaster sucks. Well, it absorbs a lot of moisture down here. I regretted even putting up the sheetrock, right? So I'm just going to pull the sheetrock down and go with the oriented strand board. I just think it's a better solution. Much stronger, especially if I tie it into the joists. Is Robert in the band too? No, it's only locals. Robert's, he's a good 500 miles away, unfortunately. Les Kramer, is hard to find them these days. Really? I see a whole bunch of them if you don't want the white. If you want the orange or the blue, I was literally on Reverb the other day. There's a lot of dealers that sell them brand new right through Reverb. You can get the orange, you can get the blue. I think they might have had a black up there. With the Duncan pickups, the EMGs that's an older spec. The new ones I think all come with the Duncans, but the Duncans sound killer. You're not really losing anything. It's more of a lateral move to go to Duncan, from EMG. A lot of people prefer the Duncans over EMGs. EMG is a love it or hate it. I love them. I'm a fan of EMGs. I think the EMGs have been sounding great. If I can play. What? Make it more like that. To get the guitar a little bit more centered. I always wanted to tell you thanks for helping me get my amp sim set up. The old video you have helped me. Oh, good, man. I want to do an updated one for that. I want to do an updated one for 2020. Are you playing through your THU rig tonight? I am. What's up with that dude that played the Led Zeppelin acoustic? He was your friend, was it Steve Marchena? Could have been Marchena. Or it could have been my bro. Rob. Was it Rob? I don't know. Steve, center stage where your band will be playing. It's going to be kind of dispersed. The drums are going to be way down in this. He couldn't even believe it. He goes, I didn't even know you had this part of the basement. I'm like, yeah. What's so funny is that was a coal bin. You can see a hole in the wall has been filled in. And there's a buttress at the bottom, probably to support the weight of a truck that would be backing up to it. And clearly there was a hole in the foundation. It was most likely went out into the backyard, and that was a coal chute that would probably come in underneath. It's right underneath ground level. So they'd dig out around the foundation, they'd put that in, and then they'd have a hopper on the outside. They'd lift the hopper up. The coal truck would come in, and they'd shovel the coal. And that, where he will be, is the literal bin. That's why there's boards on the other side, and they're kind of black. It's from the coal dust. Years and years of coal dust. You know, it was a coal furnace, a coal burning furnace that was down there. A round one you can see was probably a giant coal stove. This house was built in 1930. You performed a Zeppelin song sometime back. You had a good session with the band. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think of who that was. Oh, that might have been an a cappella band. Was that big a cappella group? Right, they were all acoustic. Right, I set up a half dozen microphones. And, yeah. I don't think they're together anymore. Yeah, they were like Tall's Top or something like that. The Acoustic Led Zeppelin Tribute Orchestra Project. Play Animal, Fuck I Could Be. I don't think I know that. I'm trying to think. Is it an E? Say a prayer for me. I'm having tequila tonight. Steve, you want to get your hands on an HM Strat reissue? What color would you prefer? What color do you like? I kind of like the yellow. Like do they have a black? They have a white, a black, a yellow. I want to say a blue, like almost like a turquoise, or like a sky blue. I forget the blue color. The yellow looks good, though that kind of really reminds me more of Ibanez than. And do they do a pink too? Are they doing a pink? They probably are, like a yellow and a pink. It's so friggin' 80s. The problem with the HM Strat was that the neck was always like really wide. I hated it. I could have bought one of those HM Strats, an original one, for $2.99. $2.99. It was up for $3.99. They couldn't sell it. They finally dropped it to $2.99, and I went out to buy it, and I picked it up. I said, I can't play this guitar. Even at $2.99, it's not worth it to me. I can't play it. The neck is just too damn wide. I believe they narrowed it by 2 millimeters, so it should be a much easier neck to play now than it was back then. China Grove. Something like that. I got to be careful. Rick Nielsen took all my money from the last one. They identified me playing Surrender, and yeah, and Rick stuck his hand in. Said, "That's mine, thank you." And we know it's a 2-hour show. We know that you only played that song for about a minute, but we're taking all the cash. Taking all the cash, kid. Beat it. Steve, what are you using to amp your sounds currently during your live streams right now? It's THU, and I'm just going like right into a Scarlett 18i20 third gen. Those third gens are really sick. They have even better preamps than the second gen. Second gen was a huge improvement over first gen. Third gen isn't quite the seismic improvement over second gen was over the first, but it's still an improvement, and it's still a nicer preamp. In fact, I wouldn't even doubt if they just took the preamps out of the Claret and just threw them in the Scarlett, you know. Because now all of a sudden they can do air technology, like the Claret. I have an original HM Strat. Michael says, I have an original HM Strat in black. He's going to get another one this year and compare the two. I'll bet the new one has got a much narrower neck. Side to side. Not front to back. Side to side. It almost feels like it's like an R3 or an R4 on the first one, and like an R2, on the new one. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Ain't that a shame? Exactly. He took my cash in a flash. Do you know any Y&T? I don't think I do. I'm trying to think. I don't think I do. Right. That was up the other day. I was listening. Then Lizzie. Did you ever have a Univibe pedal? No, but I think I can turn one on here. All right, Univibe. I think I got one in here. Una vibrato. Una something. I don't know. I'm not feeling it. Even that is just, I mean, it's okay, but it's not, yeah, I'm not feeling it. How about both of them? How about both of them together? No, hold on. I'm not. It's not really hitting me. Do I have to put it? After the amps? No. Nah, now you can't hear it at all. It's got to go before. It's got to go before everything. But I'm not really hearing it. I mean, it's not really coming through, you know? There it is off. And then here it is on. I'm giving that a big meh. An enormous meh. This other one, that's the Uni. That's not... What else do we have in here? I almost feel like a... What is a flanger? Let me remove this. Meh. I'm not feeling it. I'm not hearing anything that's really hitting me like a, well, maybe, what if we get rid of, remove that. That's the phaser. I swear to God, the phaser's the one that sounds the closest to an actual, vibe, right? I think I like that's the phaser. I think I like the phaser the best. What's this other phaser? OBH. It's got like no depth. Here it is off. Here it is back on again. I mean, I'm hearing a difference, but it's not. It's just sort of. I'm calling them meh. Meh. So, now do any of these have. I'm just going to look at the fuzzes real quick and see if any of the. Sometimes they have a vibe built in. Right? And they call themselves like. But I don't see it. Fuzz Race, Fuzz Blend, Tune Fox. Yeah. They need a better. So what's amp trim? That's probably. Yeah. Yeah. But the vibes. What's this, Ottawa? I think I gotta boost it. Oh, I see. That sets the filter range. That's another mode. That's harsh. I think I like the first one. All right. I'm having too much fun here. I have to pay attention to the chat. Oh. Yeah, I know. I should have played a little bit of Satriani. It does feel like a little bit of Satriani. Honestly, how does that Kramer hold up to your red Pacer? Like my old Pacer, my 83, the old 83 Pacer actually has a chunkier neck and is much heavier because the body's made out of solid maple. Compared to, so they're very different, and that, the neck is definitely chunkier on that. It's an older, more vintage. It's from 83. Of the two guitars, I like this guitar better, without a doubt. This is like freaking. Again, let's just go to the close cam. This guitar is just, it's just right in my wheelhouse. I just like everything about it. I like the set neck. I like the, the big cutaway there, and the ebony fingerboard and the binding, and just everything about it is really nice. And again, EMGs and Seymour Duncan was what was available when this was out in 2014. I think now it's pretty much exclusively Duncan. I don't think they're doing the EMGs anymore. Could be wrong, but I didn't see any EMGs at the last 2 times they had them out on the floor. So I'm going to guess that they're not doing that any longer. You still have your affordable red pacer? I do. This is a nicer guitar than that. Just all around, everything is nicer. But it's also twice the price at retail. Right? It's like $500 versus $1,000. So I would hope it would be better. If you're gonna play surfing, yeah, I know. Something more. I need something with a little bit of. Where's my? I haven't played that in so long. Yeah, it's like Satriani. I haven't played that song in probably since the last time someone asked for it. Oh yeah, actually that was in single coil mode. You can really hear the difference. Yeah, it's neck through, right? Neck through. I gotta think it is. Usually with that type of heel, it's neck through. Yeah. Neck through, set neck, it's all the same. I know I gotta watch out playing pretty much a lot of any copyrighted. I told you, Rick Nielsen came out of the blue, Cheap Trick, and got me for Surrender last time. Even though there was no drums, no bass, no vocals. They're like, we see you played a cover of Surrender. Is this EMG 89? Oh, it's copper. I think copper means 89, right? It's not gold or silver, it's copper. I thought copper meant 89, but I could be wrong. You still have your Gibson with blackout middle? I do, but that wasn't a Gibson, that was a Chibson. What do you think of the standard Bia Chapmans? I like the new Rebia guitars. I had a chance to check them out at the last NAMM show. And they were at the NAMM show. They were up in a meeting room. Stranglehold. See, it was a Jackson SL1 that slipped through your hands for $11.99. If I remember correctly, it was $8.99. It was $8.99. It said Made in USA on the headstock. It said Seymour Duncan on the pickups. It was in like a super, super dark, like a maroon. And yeah. Single, double, Floyd Rose. You know, it had the serial number stamped right below the 24th fret. And that sold pretty quickly on Guitar Center used for $8.99. What's up, Brian? The 18-minute warning. Well, I don't think, funny how old rockers are trying to cover the rehab bills. I don't think Rick Nielsen was ever in rehab. He's been pretty clean. And you got to remember, Rick Nielsen is a lot richer than anyone else in that band because he has the sole writing credit on all their biggest hits. He's the sole writing credit for Surrender. He's the sole writing credit, I think, for Dream Police and for, what's their other big hit? Surrender, Dream Police, and Ain't That a Shame is a cover. They had one other real big song that was Rick. Can't think of it, but it'll come to me. What's up, T. Jackson? So this showed up recently. The old Terra stamp. It's a guitar pedal, but that's an amplifier. That's the amp right there. 20 watts. It's a 20 watt amp. I think it's 20 watts into 8 ohms, and I think it's 12 watts into 16 ohms. I'm pretty sure that's how that goes. Let's do this. Yeah. The old Terra stamp. Crank out a video on that real soon. And the other one is the old, if I can get it here. Jesus. Okay. It's the Spark. With Smart Jam. It's wicked smart. It's called the Spark. 40 watts, twin speakers, and wicked Smart Jam. Spark with Smart Jam. Oh God, it's heavy. It's got a little weight to it. A little bit of the beefiness. Oh. Those amps are cool. Was checking one out in Cali. So it's Terror stamp. It stamps out terrorism. It says it right in the box. Still waiting for yours, Electro Omega. Yeah. A lot of people were saying that. Apparently, it's been more popular than they had ever imagined. But they say they're getting up with... I did see a couple of people who ordered theirs get theirs. So it depends maybe on when you ordered it. good one, Ben. Or maybe that's Mark leaving. In that case, palindrome time. Race car. Good palindrome. Yeah, this isn't a USA. This is, I think, made in Korea. Right? Korea? I don't know. I'm gonna say Korea. I'm 99% sure it's Korea. When you're noodling around, what guitar amp do you use or you typically use? If I'm noodling around and just sitting over in my chair, I plug into a Katana Mini, the tiny little one. I love that friggin' amp. The trick to that amp is you can't have the speakers face you. They're too bright. I have a little bit of stuff on my table, and I just tilt it down so that the speakers are facing the table, but they're not muffled on the table. It's being held up by a couple of like cables and cords. It's not completely flat down on the table. Oh my God, it sounds awesome. You just have to focus that high end away from you a little bit, and damn, it's like a high pass filter. It sounds friggin' awesome. So I use the Katana Mini for just about all of my playing when I'm over in that chair. When I'm over here, I tend to use one of these, right? Either the Black Spirit. You can see I have the wireless into it right here. Or I use the whatchamacallit there, the Grandmeister 40. Those are both plugged in and hooked up. That's about it. Those are pretty much the two main amps I've been using. In the attic, I have a Katana 100, which I use all the time. I love that friggin' amp. Okay, so Aljon's confirming it is Korean made. By the same people that bring you, Samsung and Hyundai? Yeah. I love my Samsung phone. So Korean made. PRS amps, yes or no? Some people seem to really like them. The ones I've heard seem to be fairly mid-pushed. And they're probably kind of pricey if, PRS. I don't really know the PRS stuff all that well, to be honest. In the amps. Hold on a second. I have to cough here. I'm going to spare you. A little better. Have you tried the Yamaha THR series? No, have not. Almighty Antichrist says I just got the new Katana head. So the new Mark II one. Newer Kramers are made in Indo. Okay, so this is Korean and the newer ones are made in Indonesia. I recently was just saying how I thought friggin' Indonesia's been kicking ass lately. Every time I get a guitar and I'm like impressed with the quality, sure enough, I look on the back, it's Indonesia. I'm just saying, it's the people that are doing the IBI premium stuff. They're making, Bobby has one. I was thoroughly impressed with it, so. I have the Katana 100 head, amazing amp. Yeah, the Katanas sound good, man. There's a reason they're so popular. And it's because they sound good. All right, I'm going back to I think I like that amp is a little too bright. I'm going back to my Marshall and Boogie combo. See, I think I like the sort of the dynamics on this particular patch. Oh, no one home. 8:52. Damn, this night went fast, huh? Cork guitars look fantastic. I know they are. Ghost Builders, but under their own name, they're really pushing things out. Yeah, that's one of those companies that's just been around forever. Them and Samick, you know. Although all my basses are U.S. made, all my guitars are either Korean or Indonesian, and all of them are really well made, whether they're ESP or old Epiphones or Squires. Yeah, I tell you, I had an Indonesian-made Squire I friggin' loved. It had a rolled fingerboard. I could not believe the attention to detail. You know, for a guitar I paid $199 for. Used, not new. New, I think they were like $275 or something, $299. Again, not very expensive. What's up, Edge? Thanks for the kind words. Yeah, Aljan, the patch sounds killer, right? I know. I have a Hendrix bootleg. This is all you hear for the first, like, couple of minutes. You can hear people talking in the background. He's just up on, you know. Then you hear, like... He opens up with Stone Free, but I swear to God, for the longest time, he's just up there like almost like tuning. You can hear him going like Then you hear like 2:53 a.m. in Germany. Dude, I really appreciate you staying up, man. These days we have a great plant in Indo and China. Yeah. In fact, Aljan is the like the products guy with Epiphone, and he was telling us that you know, they don't just job this stuff out; they have factories, right? And that's probably the difference between a lot of companies out there. You know, Epiphone has the resources to just source their own factory. You know, that's huge versus just going and meeting with a bunch of people, checking out some samples and saying, yeah, you know, make, you know, 5,000 or 10,000 of these, and then, you know, going through quality control. It's not like that. They have their own place, and that's massive. That's huge to be able to take quality control to that next level. Hey, what's up, Max Solo? You're up late. No, you rock. Yeah, Stone Free, exactly, Aljan. I met Max Solo at TGU 18. MIJ Fender Mustang bass. Yeah, they're getting more and more available over in the States. They're out there. The weird thing about Fender and their MIJ is that a lot of it is Japanese market only. So if you want one, you have to find someone in Japan to actually ship you out one. And it gets pricey. Do you ever play a keyboard? Yeah. No, I have a couple. I have a Kurzweil PC-88. I have a Native Instruments Complete. I think that's the S49. And upstairs I have my little Korg Mini. And I probably have one more input device. I have a Native Instruments Machine Studio. That's in the attic. And there's one more. Might be a Lesis or Akai. It's Akai Pro. I have the Akai Pro, like just a little 2-octave with the pad set. I'm not crazy about it. Looking back, I think I don't like where they put the octave button. It's like they put the octave button in the middle. It should be over on the left, right next to the wheels. I just feel like the octave button is placed in the wrong place. It's really annoying because you can't do a lot of real-time movement with it. Unlike my Korg, which I can move in real time very easily because they put the octave button right next to the pitch wheel. Makes it a lot easier to work. Hank says I put a small ding in my new guitar. Dude, I hate when that happens. Pretty bummed out. Do your guitars have dings? They do, and I know what you're saying. It's that first scratch. You're like, ah! It was perfect. But then after that, you find yourself caring less and less. But no, I hear you. I hear that first one. As Rod Stewart taught us, the first cut is always the deepest. The first cut is the deepest. All right, guys. Well, it's 8:59. Yeah, Phil X is a monster. I had some video up, I think, on the last live show of him at the Gibson booth, who was, he just kicked ass. God, that dude, so much awesomeness in one place. It's hard to contain it. I've known Phil for a couple of years, like 3 years now, and awesome guy, amazing player, and I just think keeping the light going for guitar players. He's going to be in town, I think, over the summer, and I'll probably get out and see him with Bon Jovi again. Military friends in Kadena, Japan. Gonna get a hookup. Yeah. That's what you kind of need. You almost kind of do need like a hookup in Japan, or else you're going to pay Mr. Sparkle like, $139 one-way shipping. Let me see. Beers, yeah. No, you rock. Oh, thanks for hanging out, Calvin. Much appreciated. All right, guys. Well, I think we're officially past 9 o'clock, and my family is probably wanting to come home. I see them in the driveway. So I am going to scroll up and out. Thanks, everyone, for hanging out. Awesome. Thanks. Super extra thanks to everyone who contributed tonight. And I'll have a bunch of new videos this week. Probably the Terra Stamp, definitely the Spark at some point this week. And the Epi right there. We doing that. And yeah, there you have it. I don't know if I'll see you next weekend, but definitely the weekend after that. So, all right, dudes. No, you rock. Thanks so much for hanging out. And I don't think I have to scroll up anymore. There's no scrolling involved any longer. I have my end screen button right here. All right, dudes. Oh, thanks, Aljon. We got to talk soon. Wait, there you are. You're not there. You're there. Thanks, Al. Look at the camera. No, you rock, and have a great week, everyone. And see you at the next one. Oh, and I am confirmed. I will be at the Dallas International Guitar Festival this year. That is you can mark that on your calendar, because I will be there. All right. Now I'm really ending. No, you rock. Now I'm really ending it. All right, dudes. Have a good one. Later.